Well, our introductions required here.
He's my barber.
He's my best man.
I was best man at his wedding.
So you were.
Not after the wedding, during the wedding.
Yes. And George, do you know...
I've never met George before.
No, we've never
Not till
before.
backstage. Isn't that funny?
It is strange. I hope you're going to be comfortable between these two old mates, George.
Hello!
It's rather odd. I mean, it's the first time I've been stuck between a castle and a knight. I think I can say in all sincerity, I feel like a prawn in the game.
With Jack, Harry.
Oh, dear. This must stop. Harry, you've always been a tonic, but you are, these days, a slimline tonic, and I wondered... that was quite good as well.
Very good, that.
How much have you lost?
Originally, I lost 5 stone. And I looked a bit haggard. So, right a haggard, folks. So I lost, I put a bit back on. I put about 1.5 stone back on. But at 14.5 stone, I looked haggard. I looked...
Well, Peter Scott, years ago, did the same thing, didn't he?
Yes.
So did that. But what about keeping it off? Is that a problem? How
It's a problem, yes. The idea is eat as much as you like, but don't swallow.
Are there any pleasures that you've had to give up forever?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I love spaghetti and all that sort of stuff. You're going to pack those in. And booze, I don't drink anymore. I get very thirsty, you know. I don't drink anything at all in the alcoholic line.
You look such a healthy lad and always have, and yet you've had health problems quite a lot through your life.
I'm afraid so, yes. I had, when I was a kid, I had everything going. I had scarlet fever and yellow jaundice together. I was striped. I had German measles and chicken pox. The spots were queuing up to form when I was a kid. And like Roy, I was very short-sighted when I was a boy. I had to wear braille socks.
With the same problems at school, I presume?
Yes, I couldn't see the blackboard either. And there was no excuse, I was an idiot. I remember after the exam in school, the geometry exam, the master picked up my paper at the end of the exam and he said, "We have one boy here who scored a record for the school. No marks at all. Nothing, no marks. Not even one for neatness."
Did you write anything on the page at all?
I did, yes. I knew the Pythagoras theorem, the square and hypotenuse is equal to sum of the square, and the other two sides. I wrote that out and said, this is the sum total of my knowledge of geometry. I thought I had something for cheek, but nothing.
What about girls not making passes at boys who wear glasses? Was that the case?
Yeah, I'm afraid it was in my case. I always fancy myself without my specs. You see, I used to go, "Hello, folks," with a slight squint, And that's how I met my missus. I'd been out of the army about 3 days, and I went to this dance with some army mates. And I didn't have my glasses on. And in the Paul Jones, I picked up this little pretty bird, you see. Danced around. That was my Canadian phase at the time, because I'd nicked a Canadian shirt from the prop basket before I left the army. And it was a lumberjack shirt. So I was dancing with her, and I made a date with her for the following day outside the Plaza Cinema at 6 o'clock. I had a few drinks. And then, when the time came to meet her, I wasn't quite sure what she looked like because I hadn't been wearing my glasses. So the Plaza Cinema had columns outside it, you see. So I got there at 10 to 6, got behind a pillar and thought, when I see her, if I don't fancy her, I won't come out. And I waited behind her till 6:15. And I thought, well, she's not coming. And I got out from behind the pillar and she got out from behind hers. That's true. And that's how it started. Mutual mistrust.
Have you found that there's ever been a positive advantage to wearing glasses?
Yes, I have. I'd never wear them on stage because I can imagine that the audience, if they're not laughing, they're smiling at least. Whereas if you wear glasses, you can see that they're scratching themselves. He's the same.
The worst thing is when you see a few that are asleep. That's the worst bit. When you're out there saying, "Hi there, well, hey," and there's people going...
Now, we all did national service, I believe, but you, Harry and George, did the real thing.
We fought, didn't we, George?
Good, we fought.
We was fighting now. What were you in?
RAF, what were you in?
Artillery.
He served under
he
Monty.
fought.
I did. I did serve under Monty. Monty.
Was he aware of this?
Well, what happened? I'll tell you the story. It won't take you long. We were in the First Army, you see, in North Africa. We did all the hard fighting up and through the mud, whereas the 8th Army was swanning around the desert in the sand. But we were doing all the hard all the hard graft. So for the, the invasion of Sicily, we transferred to the 8th Army. And Montgomery decided to come along and give us a bit of a pep talk. So he drove in, all the regiment sort of open square like that. He drove in his car, with the fly whisk and everything. Stopped in the middle of us and said, "Gather one," he said. So we're all pushed forward, and I was pushed right underneath him, right underneath his car, really. Now, I'd been in action for some time, and I had boils all around here, because we were on compo rations, no fresh food or anything. Boils. My glasses are broken about 4 times, you know, the army stuff. So they're all done up with tape, and they were on like that. And my hair was all up under my beret, and I had a haircut for about... We didn't have him in the regiment, you see. I had a haircut for about over a month, so it was getting all long, but I thought I'd wait till I get to Italy and get the old a proper trim. So it was tucked up under my beret, and he said, "Take your hats off. Now see what your chaps look like." So I took my hat off, and it all comes down. I was right there, underneath him, right there. So he's giving us, so he said, "Yes, now, you chaps you left the First Army, you run a grand job, and now you're leaving that and coming to the... the 8th Army. Now, our job is to go ahead and go into the..." And he kept looking at me, and I felt terrible. So I thought, I've got to say something on behalf of the whole First Army. And I said, "We're with you, sir." And he said, "Yes." I never saw him again.
Proud warrior you were.
Yes, I was a proud warrior. I was to lead retreats.
George, what was your part in Hitler's downfall, actually?
I shoveled coal.
Do you mean that?
Yeah, I shoveled it into sacks.
Oh.
And delivered it to officers' billets so they could keep warm and win the war.
Is that because of your name?
Probably.
Now, you met Spike Milligan during your army service, didn't you?
Yes.
On the same side, I suppose. And you shared a flat afterwards. That must have been madness.
We shared a flat in Notting Hill, at Linden Gardens in Notting Hill Gate. And it was supposed to be only occupied by 2 people. There were twin beds, you see. But 4 of us lived there. It was Spike, myself, Norman Vaughan, and a Roy Nunn, I think, isn't it? Ray Nunn, who was a trumpeter. And we weren't supposed to have more than 2 in there. We used to cook spaghetti in the bath, all sorts of marvellous things we did. A great rim around the bath there were. Tomato sauce. But the thing was, we'd all say goodnight, and go down the stairs, slam the door, and Tom and Jerry back upstairs again. And there was a phone on the landing, always kept ringing for Norman Vaughan. He was the one who was working at the time. He had the Crombie coat and the hat, and we were starving, Milligan and I. Ah, dear, dear.
You're on the move a great deal these days with Highway. That's something you obviously enjoy very much.
I do. I wasn't quite sure whether I'd be the right bloke for the job originally, but it's something that gets to you, and it's a very rewarding thing to do, I really must say. I had no idea there were so many people in this country doing good quietly. In our profession, we tend to do good deeds with an ear-splitting stealth. But there are people who work without reward, thought of reward or recognition for the good of the community, and it makes you feel very humble. It genuinely does.
And it's very different, isn't it, from the early insanity or the insanity of your early television programmes. There's some wonderful stories with the stuff you got up to.
Well, there was one show we did, Secombe here, where we actually ended the show fencing. It was Eric Sykes, myself, and Spike. Now we're all fencing as musketeers for some reason. And we fenced out of the studio theatre at Shepherd's Bush onto the road, still fencing, and then we jumped in the back of a car and went off, all waving swords. And then they had the news, which is generally read behind the clock face of Big Ben. And after the news was read, Peter Haig gave the weather forecast. And we burst into the studio when he was reading the weather forecast and kept on fighting. Took the hand off Big Ben and fought back. It was just...
And that was television history, but when? I mean, it was a long time ago.
That was about 1953, I think, 53, 54.
Very bold stuff for them, wasn't it?
It was. Because, things were live in those days.
Mm. Being Sir Harry now, do you feel that as... Well, that's what I wanted to know, really. It hasn't calmed you down at all, has it?
No, it's very funny. It's strange. And Americans find it strange. I was in Texas a couple of years ago. I was called Sir Secombe. A lady was talking to me. She said, Sir Secombe, where is your ancestral seat? And I said, it's a council house. She said, you counsel people there? I take it as a compliment for the profession. As a personal thing, it's sometimes a bit difficult. People who call you, used to call you Mr. Secombe, now call you Sir Harry, and your old mates call you Harry, so there's no difference really.
But your coat of arms, the motto is marvellous, which is go on, which can be goon, which I think is splendid.